And I'm back. What I got here today is I got an exhaust manifold and a turbocharger off of a 2001 Volvo V70. Okay, it's got the 2.4 liter 5-cylinder engine. Now, I just want to explain for those that don't know the difference between a turbocharger and a supercharger and how a turbocharger works, just in its basic form. Okay, now a turbocharger and a supercharger, you'll hear this, you know, sometimes when people talk about engines. It's supercharged, it's turbocharged. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, the distinction between turbocharged and supercharged is this: simply, a supercharger is driven by the engine. Okay, it's driven mechanically by the engine, usually by gearing off the front of the engine, and so it's mechanically driven. That's a supercharger. A turbocharger is driven by the exhaust from the engine. So here's an exhaust manifold, and you can see how it channels into here. Okay, now this is, it goes through this before it goes to, this is the connection for the exhaust pipe. So the exhaust comes out of the engine, passes through this part of the housing, and goes out to the exhaust pipe. Okay, now basically what you have is that there's a turbine in here. There's a little turbine, and there's a bearing in the middle, and it separates the two halves, and there's another turbine over here. So this little turbine gets driven by the exhaust gas, okay, before it leaves and goes out the pipe, and it in turn turns a turbine in here. I don't know if you can see that in there. There's a little turbine, and that, what that does is compresses the air, the intake air, so that the air that goes into the cylinder when the piston drops is somewhat compressed. And so what you end up with is you end up with more molecules of oxygen for the fuel to combine with, so you'll have a larger explosion for that same volume of air. So the displacement of this engine is 2.4 liters. You know, that's the combined volume of all the cylinders. You know, you can do that math, but that's how they come up with the displacement of an engine. It's the amount of volume that's displaced by the movement of the piston from its maximum down to its maximum up. And in a naturally aspirated engine, you're only going to have so much combination of oxygen with fuel to create the combustion. In a turbocharged engine or a supercharged engine, you're going to have a lot more oxygen available to combine with the fuel. Okay, so that's the difference. See, I'm spinning the turbine. So this little turbine, you know, reacts to the exhaust coming out of the engine and spins. And there's a bearing in the middle, and it's lubricated by oil here. You'll have an oil line going here to cool it and lubricate it. And on this side, you can see where it's spinning here. So this is the intake plenum here. That would come from your air box with your filter in it. And that feeds air to this side of it, see? And your exhaust pipe would hook up on that side and go out to atmosphere. Okay, so I'll show you that for anybody that didn't know. Thanks for watching. Always something new and exciting here on Everyday Projects. If you haven't already, you can go down and click subscribe. That helps the channel quite a bit. Appreciate you all being here for the ride, and many more adventures to come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.